Looks like we're live. Hello there, fellow palm nuts and exotic plant freaks. It is 5, what time is it here? 5:02 p.m. Pacific time. I did do a live stream yesterday. I actually did two live streams, but on two different YouTube channels. As you know, I do have a couple of YouTube channels. I actually have three YouTube channels. So right now the current temperature is 19.1 degrees Celsius with 54.4% humidity here on the north end of Salt Spring Island in the Southern Gulf Islands. Hopefully this is a good time for some of you out there. And if you are out there, pop in and say hello and let us know how your gardens grow. So on my Jungle Joe C YouTube channel, I've been trying to live stream for a while and I could not figure out why it would not take a profile pic. It would not live stream for me. And then a thing came on the screen, you have to download Google Chrome. And once I downloaded Google Chrome, I could actually live stream on my other channel. So I did a half hour, I guess it was a half hour, 38-minute live stream on my other YouTube channel. And a few people popped in. It doesn't have as many subscribers as this one. I think there's close to 5,000 or something like that. But it was fun while it lasted. And I'll probably do another one on there, in another few weeks. Anyway, a beautiful day. I just got back from physiotherapy, and because my lower back has been killing me, and physio seems to really help out with the lower back strain/pain. He manipulated the muscle, and he did some acupuncture, more acupuncture, and it's amazing the acupuncture. Those needles. I said, "Do they go in deep?" He says, "Oh yeah, they go in deep." And he showed me these needles and the pins, and he pushes them into your back. 5 of them I had in me, and I was there for an hour, and I didn't even feel a thing. Really, you don't even feel them go in, and you don't even really feel them come out. It's just amazing how they can stick things in you like a human pin cushion, and you don't feel them, and there's no blood, but it does alleviate the pain. So anyway, today was a beautiful day on Salt Spring Island. It is Thursday. We got sunshine, scattered clouds, and it's just a really perfect day out here. There's a slight breeze out of the west, coming in off the west. A nice warm westerly wind, slight wind, and just a great day to be out in the garden. Unfortunately, I can't really do anything strenuous. I can walk around the garden. I can watch Wendy work out in the garden, but they told me not to lift anything heavy. So Monday I should be back at work, and I still have to be careful with the back. Well, anyway, folks, I hope you're having great weather where you are. I'm sure in the southern latitudes, you're probably baking hot and sweating to death. Here, like I say, humidity right now is 54.4% humidity. It is absolutely a perfect day. I can hear the eucalyptus trees and see them blowing in the breeze up there, the big ones in the front garden. They tower up over the house. They're probably 70 feet taller than our house. They're big, big trees, and they sound really nice in the wind. So if you've never heard a eucalyptus tree in the wind, you could probably watch some of my videos on eucalyptus trees blowing in the wind, and they actually sound really nice. And when it rains, they smell good too. And a lot of times, well, they lose leaves at a certain time of the year, but they're always replenishing leaves. So they are a broadleaf evergreen, and they can be very messy because they lose bark and they lose leaves. But as they lose leaves, there's new leaves coming. And hey, how's it going, man? Good to see you in there, Jason. Jason, right on. Nice to see you, bro. I was going to say, as eucalyptus trees lose leaves, there's new leaves regrowing at the same time, right? So very messy trees. So always keep that in mind, consideration when you're going to be planting eucalyptus trees. Don't plant them too close to your house. And if you love them like I do, the mess is okay. And we use actually the bark that shreds off for our pathways through our exotic garden. Another very messy tree is Pacific Madrona, the one up behind me there. You see the big Pacific Madrona? They are very messy trees, and they're losing leaves like a eucalyptus, and their bark is peeling off like eucalyptus as well. And Wendy's constantly raking those things up. I really can't be bothered. So instead of cutting lawn here, we don't have any lawn. We rake up bark and we rake up eucalyptus leaves. But the leaves we don't really use for anything. They're not really good for much. We just throw them off to the side. But the bark we use in the garden paths. And when you walk on our garden paths, especially after it rains, it smells like Vicks. And if you know what Vicks smells like, it's kind of a eucalyptusy smell. So Hall's mentholyptus, it comes from eucalyptus oils. So they do have medicinal properties in them. And we actually do sell bunches of eucalyptus at a farm stand in front of our place. Right now the farm stand's in, but Wendy sold a whole bunch this year, and people buy bundles of it and they hang it in their showers, they hang it in their sauna, and they also use it for flower bouquets. And like I say, if you guys are out there, out and about, hop in and like you do, and leave your comments and let us know what's going on in your neck of the woods. Absolutely gorgeous day here on the Southern Gulf Islands in the North Pacific. This region of Canada is uh, is temperate, as most of you know, a Mediterranean type climate. So very different than the rest of Canada here out on the North Pacific islands. And we have some really neat stuff blooming in the garden right now. We have I call it Cytisus battenderii. It's a pineapple broom tree. I just uploaded a video of it today. And if you want to see what a pineapple broom tree looks like, check out the latest video I uploaded. I've uploaded a few videos today, but the video is of the tree in bloom, and they are very fragrant. And hey, Wendy, what you doing?
I'm putting up that cabinet.
I think she said she's getting me dinner. That's translated from putting up cabinet. With dinner, we made we made dinner in a crock pot, and it is a stew. If any of you like stew, so come and join us for dinner right now if you're close. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, the pineapple broom tree is a really amazing tree. Not so common in the nursery trade. Apparently, they're quite cold hardy. When I lived on the mainland many moons ago, I'd never seen a pineapple broom tree. I'd never seen them until I moved to Salt Spring Island a few decades ago, and I've come across a lot of them in private gardens. And there's actually one growing in our town too. And they do call it a pineapple broom tree, native to the Atlas Mountains of Morocco, because the flowers kind of resemble a pineapple. They're yellow, but they smell like a pineapple, like a tropical fruit. Just a really amazing tree. And they are a semi-evergreen here. They have beautiful silver leaves on them and extremely drought tolerant, and grows well with other broadleaf exotic evergreens. A great companion plant for your subtropical slash exotic garden. And in my opinion, this is the best way to garden, because when you have an exotic garden, they're generally low maintenance. Most jungle type slash exotic gardens have very little or no lawn whatsoever. We have zero lawn here. Years ago, I did have a small patch of lawn or two for my kids, but the kids are all grown up now. And once the kids left the nest, I got rid of the last piece of lawn. And our yard is stepped, our property is stepped. So those pieces of lawn were not that big. And it's used for other things now. We have a lot of palm trees stored on there in pots. And well, like I say, low maintenance is best. In my line of work, I mow a lot of sports fields and parks on our island, working for the Parks Department. And last thing I want to do is when I come home is mow more lawn. I rather just diddle daddly along around in the garden and enjoy the plants, and just enjoy the nature and listen to the birds rather than hear the lawnmower running when I get home. I do have to I have to weed whack a little bit, maybe about 3 times a year. I take the weed whacker and I go along the boulevard, and that's about it, because we do have a B&B here, and it does make it look trim and proper along the boulevard. But the rest of the garden really looks after itself. And there's no plant in any really particular order, and that's what makes an exotic garden so much fun. Basically, if you do see a weed, you pull out that weed and stick in another exotic plant. And like I say, it's rare that we ever have to weed our garden. The odd time, maybe a dandelion will poke out, and we'll yard it out, or maybe a little creeping blackberry. We'll pull that out, but everything else is on its own and takes care of itself. We do water in the dry months. We are in the dry months right now, and but we did get some rain the other day, and it was actually quite nice. So I did fertilize today. A good friend of mine gave me this really nifty device. My wife is painting his bar for him. He wanted the fake rock to look like real rock. So Wendy's a really good artist. So he hired Wendy to paint this rock to make it look like river rock or beach stones, roly beach stones. And he gave her, well, besides the back bacon that he makes himself, he gave us a really nifty device. It fits onto your hose. It's made by Miracle Grow, and it's a canister that fits onto a watering device, and you screw in that canister with the Miracle Grow into it, and it can go on water or it can go on feed. When you put it on feed, the water that's coming out is actually fertilizer mixed with the water. So I gave a fair bit of our garden the soaking of the Miracle Grow fertilizer, and we're going to see if it makes a difference. Even these palms behind me, we gave them a little drink with Miracle Grow. I think the numbers on it are 12, 4, 8. I know the first number, the nitrogen was higher, so that'll green up some of the stuff. in the garden even more than it is already green. Most of our palms are pretty green here because we stick with organic material such as manure and coffee grounds, and we also put seaweed on it and grass clippings. I bring a lot of that stuff home from the parks because when we mow the parks in town, there are a lot of grass clippings, especially at the beginning of the season. Now the grass is starting to turn brown in the parks, believe it or not. That's how dry it is here. And all water and sprinkler systems are going to be turned off shortly because of the level 3 water restrictions. Once we hit, oh, there's a hummingbird right in front of me here. That's cool. Once we hit level 4 water restrictions, you don't even wash your car. You cannot do anything like that. So, but we get to that stage usually late June or early July. We are into level 4, and actually in front of the waterworks building. And it doesn't affect me. Doesn't affect Wendy and I. We're on a well. We have our own water supply. But people that are on lake water, it will definitely affect you, and you will have to cut back on your water. Otherwise, you are metered, and your water bill is going to be astronomical. And that's why we do not water the sports fields through the dry months, because the water bill is absolutely insane in the membrane. It is a lot of money to water a sports field. So we cut back on the water, we shut everything off, and basically the parks look like the Sahara Desert here on Salt Spring Island. When the fall comes, the rains come and they start to green up again. So we got a good root system on them. We do a lot of slicing. We do a lot of aerating. We do seed drilling. We do fertilizing. So we have really healthy root system. So they just go into dormancy, that lawn, because each blade of grass is a plant, and they bounce right back nicely when you start getting that fall rain. And you'd never know that it was the Sahara Desert in the summertime. That's how green it is. So I see one person in there that's commented, Jason, and usually we have a whole message board full of people, which tells me something. They're outside and out enjoying their gardens, and that makes me happy. I rather see a blank message board here so I can just talk to myself, because I know you are actually enjoying your gardens out there. And like I said, I was enjoying my garden today. I can water. I really can't do any really strenuous activity because I did pull a lower back muscle, and the physiotherapy and the acupuncture has been really helping out. And he gave me some really good exercises to do. So he told me to add them to my regular workout routine once my back is completely better. Might be another week from now. And then I can start doing some back exercises. So I don't know what you guys are growing out there, Jason. I don't know where you're located. Are you in Canada? Or are you in the US if you're still watching this live stream? I think you probably know where I am at here on Salt Spring Island in the Southern Gulf Islands. We are in the same archipelago as the San Juan Islands off of Washington State, but we're on the Canadian side, and there's an imaginary line that separates the Southern Gulf Islands from the Washington State San Juan Islands. Alberta, sweet. My wife was born in Alberta. She was born in Calgary, but she came to the coast when she was 10 years old back in 1969. So she's been here a long time on the coast, and she moved. Well, she lived in White Rock and then Tsawwassen, so she's always been right on the coast. I've been to Alberta a couple of times. I've been to Edmonton. I went to that cool, funky mall. It was in the summer months. My ex-wife's aunt and uncle lived right across the street from West Edmonton Mall. So when I went there, and that was in 90, I think I went there in 97 or 98. And then I went there in the early 2000s. I think 2001 or something like that. And it was nice because I could walk right across the street to the mall. I remember going on that crazy roller coaster in West Edmonton Mall, man. It was absolutely insane. I think they called it the Mind Bender or something like that. And then there was the Drop of Doom or something, the Elevator or the Drop of Doom. It was crazy. And then I went into a really neat area that has plants. They're pyramids, and they're kind of like these conservatories. I don't know what it's called. And there was, I think, 3 pyramids. And in these glass pyramids, they grew all these cool subtropical, tropical, and temperate plants. And it's interesting that one of the pyramids, pretty much every plant they had in that pyramid, we grow here on our island. They had a redwood in there. We grow huge redwoods here. The problem with growing a redwood in a glass pyramid, it's going to be popping the glass out of the ceiling in no time flat. So our redwoods are probably 60, 70 feet tall at least. I planted them as saplings a few decades ago, and they are California coast redwoods. So, Jason, are you growing any palms in Alberta? And if you do, I know you're going to have to protect them. There's one guy that's on my Facebook group, People Who Love Palm Trees and Exotic Plants, and he has a palm tree in his garden in Alberta. I think he lives in Fort Saskatchewan or near Fort Saskatchewan. And he has to give it an ultimate protection plan. That's like box it in, build a structure around it. And I don't know if he uses a thermocube, but he has to use heat. You definitely have to use heat because where he is probably zone 3 or zone 2. And no, even the cold hardiest palms are not going to grow in Alberta. And they even have a tough time growing in Eastern Canada. They need protection. Even the hardiest palms are going to need protection. But here you can see behind me, we got a lot of palm trees. Those are Trachycarpus palms, and those have been there quite a long time. Those ones I grew from seed. Anyway, folks, I'll stay on here for a few minutes longer, folk. And if nobody comes onto the message board, I will close her down, and I will have some din. And is that a veggie box?
Part of it, yeah.
Fresh veggies from the farm down the road.
Yeah.
That's what you get, right? Fresh veggies.
Fresh
Show them those fresh veggies.
Did she get homemade?
Yeah, show them. Look at this. So Krista goes down to the local farm. This is all fresh stuff from the farm down the road. And you split it with Wendy, right?
Yeah, we split it.
So you got beets. These are the best beets, by the way.
Bok choy.
Oh, they got bok choy?
Green onions, kale.
Let's see these onions. Holy
and
cow.
Some carrots.
Oh, man.
And some nice strawberries.
Oh, my God. They got strawberries. And this kale, you know what? You can dry it in a food dehydrator, and it's awesome. What's this?
Potatoes and sourdough bread.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Krista. It's Wendy's daughter. You got to check out her channel, too. It's pretty cool. She does tarot readings, right?
I'm channeling the Pleiadian High Council.
Channeling the Pleiadian High Council. So if you want your High Council Palladium channeled, you go check out her channel. She'll channel the hell out of you, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Krista Grace.
Krista Grace. Her channel is Krista Grace. She's a pretty cool chick, and she does tarot readings. That's her thing, and yeah, she lives here on our property, and she's a great gal. So check out Krista Grace, her channel, and you can also check out Wendy's channel, Gulf Island Rock. She does uploads on there as well, and I have another channel as well besides this one. You know, I've been on YouTube making videos since 2008, okay? So that's 12 years now. And this channel I started in 2010, beginning of July 2010. So this one I've had for 10 years. And then before that, I had Banana J, or BJ616, so Banana Joe 616. And that one I started in 2008, had it for a couple of years. Then this one, and then I also have another one called Jungle Joe C, and we also upload on that one. And that's the one I did a live stream. Oh, there's a hummingbird right here again. I love it. We got these fake Hawaiian leis hanging on this patio umbrella, and this hummingbird is constantly coming up to these fake Hawaiian, probably made in Taiwan or China leis, trying to get nectar from them. And they just hang there, and they're so bright and colorful that it attracts this hummingbird. And I'm guessing it's probably the same hummingbird on these leis. So anyway, yeah, the breeze is really nice here. I hope you're having good weather in Alberta, Jason. It is absolutely beautiful here. It's just it can't be better. And I was going to say the local time here is 5:20 p.m. Pacific time. I know it's 6:20 p.m. in Alberta. You are, I guess that's Mountain Time Zone. Wouldn't be Central, would it? Is it Mountain? No, Central. I guess it's Central Time Zone. And then the people down in the on the East Coast of Canada, if you tune in, those guys are 4 hours ahead of us. And the East Coast of the US is 3 hours. And then we have a lot of people that like to tune in from Europe. And there's wild strawberries growing in the prairies. Sweet. I wonder if they're bigger than ours. We have wild strawberries here on our property, but they're very small strawberries, and we have a lot of them here in our garden that we never planted. They're just natural strawberries. We also have native Saskatoon berry here, or service berry, or June berry, and they grow about 15 feet tall, and they grow along the side of the road. Is that an empty basket now?
Yeah.
Krista Grace. That's it, right?
Yep.
Channeling. So you want to get some channeling done. This is the girl that does the channeling. She'll channel you, right?
Yeah.
She does the tarot. You do tarot.
I'm not doing tarot online anymore.
Oh, it's not tarot?
I was going to, and then the Pleiadians started coming through. So
check out her channel, and it's just, is it 2 words, Krista Grace?
Yeah.
Krista Grace. That is Krista
with the CH.
With a capital C. That's Krista Grace. Actually, that was my mom's name, Grace, and that's Wendy's mom's name, which is her grandma's name is Grace. So her middle name's Grace. See you, Krista. So who else do we have in there? We have Snowbird Flock. Hi. I'm here on your live stream. Yes, you made it. Sorry. So I just did another random one, Dave. Good to see you in there. So Snowbird Flock and I go back a long way. He's one of the original viewers on this channel. And I've known him for a while, and his beautiful family came out and visited us 2 summers ago in August. Awesome group of people, and they live quite far north of Salt Spring Island. I'm guessing, I don't know, how far north do you think you live from Salt Spring Island? 400 miles north from the Southern Gulf Islands? I know it's a long drive, and I know you had a good excuse to come here too, because your daughter was down going, I think, to school or something in Victoria. But yeah, it's been just about 2 years since you guys came and visited our island. It was actually a great visit, and you brought me some Wendy and I some amazing hot sauce from up in that area, and I still have a little bit of that hot sauce left, and I'm probably going to put some of that hot sauce in my stew tonight. It was really, really good. So good to see you in there. Hope you're having good weather. Temperature here, it does feel like around 20 degrees Celsius. When I got on the live stream, it was 19.1 with 54.4% humidity. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I think about 400 miles cross country. Yeah. So where Dave lives, where Snowbird Flock lives, is in the middle of the province, right? So if you go west, you're going to be probably over at Prince Rupert, right on the coast. So Snowbird Flock is right in the center of British Columbia. And I've never been up there before. So it gets very hot up there, I think, in the summer. And winters are much colder. But if you want the real heat, Snowbird Flock will tell you Lytton is the place to go. And I kind of Googled that today, and I've been to Lytton. I was there when I was 4 years old. Our friends had a cabin there. So our parents took us up there to stay in that cabin. And all I remember is when I was a kid, there was a rattlesnake got into the outhouse, and the owner of the cabin, our friend, he shot the rattlesnake. And I remember that so clearly when I was a kid. And I just remember it being very, very hot in Lytton. So the hottest temperature recorded in Lytton is 112 degrees Fahrenheit. And that happened, I think, I think it was 1941, something like that. And then in the 2000s, it hit 107, I think, or 108 degrees Fahrenheit. And you got to remember in Lytton, the humidity is very, very low because it's like a desert up there. And that was the only time I've been there was in 1968 when I was 4.5 years old. And I do remember it just being very, very hot. And I've been to Cache Creek in more recent times. In the late 90s, I was up in Cache Creek, and I went to Lillooet. I've been to Salmon Arm. And Kamloops, I've been to quite a few times. And it also gets very hot up there. And if I remember, the vegetation in Lytton is kind of similar. I think there's pine trees. It's kind of deserty, brown, rolly hills, if I remember. And I don't remember a big population up there, though, when I was a kid. It was a kind of a laid back place, and I'm sure it's probably the same way. And I believe Snowbird Block said there's a river that runs through there, so it's a good place to go swimming on a summer day. And thanks for the sweet comments about my family. And yes, Lytton is awesome. I could live there and here in central BC, back and forth. Sweet. Well, hey, how far is it from where you live to Lytton? Like, how long would it take you to drive from the center of BC to Lytton? So you're going to be going south to Lytton, right? So Lytton is at 50 degrees north latitude, and 50 degrees north latitude, I believe, is Campbell River. So it's inland. So if you draw a straight line from Campbell River, a little north of Campbell River, straight across and go into the interior of the province, I think you probably bump into Lytton. And I don't know what the latitude of Prince George is, but it's way up there. It's way, way up there. So yeah, how long would it take you to get to Lytton from where you are in your part of the province? I know everything's a long distance from Salt Spring Island because we have to take a ferry to get off of this island, and then we have to drive, right? So the only way off of this rock is by boat, and the fastest boat to the mainland is an hour and a half direct. Unfortunately, most of the time it's the milk run, and the ferry takes over 3 hours to get from here on Salt Spring to Tsawwassen, which is south of Vancouver, and because it stops at Pender, it stops at Galliano, and it stops at Pender, Maine, Galliano, and then it goes across quite a ways across to the ferry terminal at Tsawwassen. So it's quite a long haul across. You wouldn't want to row a boat across there, I'll tell you that. I can drive south to Lytton in about 7. Oh, it's quite a ways, but other people could make it in 6. That's a long way. Wow. Snowbird Flock saying it's 7 hours. I didn't realize it was that far. So, um, now I haven't looked on a map recently. So, how close is Lytton to Cache Creek and Lillooet and say Pemberton? I've been to Pemberton too. Is it close to like Lillooet and Cache Creek? And the only reason I've been up to Cache Creek and Lillooet is because my friend, a good friend of mine, I used to work with down on the coast when I lived in the mainland. We were mushroom farmers, okay? And he got a job as a ginseng farmer up in Cherry Creek, which is kind of like this little suburb of Kamloops, but he had to look after these other farms in Cache Creek and Lillooet. So one time I was with him and he says, "You want to go to Lillooet and Cache Creek?" So I says, "Yeah, what the heck, let's do it." So we went up there and I just remember it being baking hot. And I says, "I want to dig some cactus out." And he says, "You want cactus? Let's go get some cactus." So I've dug a ton of cactus out from Cache Creek, Lillooet, and also Kamloops. And I've been to Vernon as well. And I just remember it being really baking hot up there like Kamloops. So me being a coastal guy, I'm not used to the extreme heat. I like this right now. This is really nice. Oh, and Prince George is at 54 degrees north, and Lytton is an hour south of Cache. Oh, it's an hour south of Cache Creek. Wow, I didn't realize that. See, I'm learning something from you. This is good. I'm glad you jumped aboard and you're leaving your comments on here. I just got back from physiotherapy before I did this Palmcast slash podcast live stream. I don't know if you know, I wrecked my back a couple of weeks ago. I really strained a muscle in my lower back. So I've been going to physio and getting acupuncture. So 2 days ago, I went to physio, got some acupuncture, and today I went to physio and he manipulated the muscle a bit. He did some ultrasound and then he pushed a bunch of needles into my back. And I was in there for an hour and yeah, it's feeling a lot better. It's still tender, but he gave me some exercises to do. And so hopefully I'll be up and running next week for work because I missed a bit of it because I just couldn't do anything really. I can't lift anything heavy. I basically have to be useless around here and watch Wendy do everything. It's been kind of fun actually, but the pain has not been fun. The pain has not been fun at all. So, and I got my weightlifting belt on. I got her tightened up nice and snug so it keeps all the muscles tight. GD Gardens, I am here. Get well, thanks, man. Appreciate it, and hope all is well with you and your family as well. Hey, GD Gardens, yeah, I've been live streaming for 27 minutes and 19 seconds. Hope everything's good in Georgia. I did a live stream yesterday on my other channel, Jungle Joe C. And I was saying when I started out here, because we didn't have anybody commenting yet, there's nobody on the board. Snowbird Flock says, "Hi, GD. Nice to see your comments. I will put a little aloha in there." Anyway, with this new router slash modem we got, it seems to be working really well and the internet's not cutting out. So I could not figure out why I could not live stream on my other YouTube channel. And so I tried live streaming again yesterday and I was really frustrated. And a thing popped up and it says you have to download Google Chrome in order to make the thing work. So I downloaded Google Chrome, and sure enough, I could live stream. So I did a half hour or so live stream on my Jungle Joe C YouTube channel, and we had a few people in there. One of the regulars from Australia, and then a couple of other people. And it doesn't have the subscribers this channel has, but it does have quite a few. And it was kind of fun. So I think I will do another live stream on Jungle Joe C in the near future, just to kind of keep it up. And I do upload on that channel as well. I think I uploaded on there today. I did upload a video on that channel today. So periodically, I do like to upload videos on Jungle Joe C. And I was saying my first YouTube channel I started in 2008, but I haven't uploaded on that channel since 2000, I think 2010. June 2010 probably was the last time I uploaded on that channel. So it just kind of sits dormant with 1,000 and something videos on it. You should do an update on the filibuster. I can do that. Sure. I can do an update. I actually fertilized it today. I did it's not growing fast because of where it's growing. And, I put it in that spot because it's so sheltered. So it's okay. But the problem is there's big trees around there and it's full of roots and it's very, very dry and it only gets morning sun. It does not get any other sun throughout the day. So basically the poor palm is growing in more shade, and Washingtonia filibuster, robusta, and foliifera are sun-loving palms, and they do not like growing in that condition. So I hit it with some Miracle Grow today, and it's doing well. What's interesting, I do have a sable minor growing beside it, a small one, and I do have some Camarops, and they seem to be doing well. And I find camerops can still grow in partial shade up here, no problem at all. But the filifera or filibusta or robusta, whatever it is, I'm guessing it must be a filibusta because it's been there a few years. Robusta would have been dead. I mean, this past winter got pretty cold. But anyway, I will. So tomorrow, if I'm up there, I will do a live stream. Not a live stream. I'll do a video of it. That's where Wendy's daughter lives, up there. That's on the other side of the jungle. So we'll go in there if she's not around, and I will. I'll shoot a little. I could do a little video of the garden, and you can see what we grow up there. We grow. There's a couple of camerops, palms, and then I planted another one from seed. So there's a smaller one. There's two bigger ones. Um, and there is lots of trachycarpus, a little sable minor. There's some yuccas, and there's what else is in there? A bunch of Portuguese laurel and stuff. So it's a pretty cool garden. And there's a big palm too. There's one that's about 10 feet tall. My grandpa's palm is growing in a Home Depot bucket and sable minor with 4 fronds. Home Depot bucket. Hey, you better put that baby in the ground. What type of palm is it, GD Gardens? Put that thing in the ground. It sounds like it might be stressed. Is it a sable minor? Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, and it's a sable minor. Sorry. It is a sable minor. I got that. The sun is kind of glaring on the screen here. I'm going to turn it this way a little bit more. I've never seen sable minor for sale here at Home Depot. And we don't have a Home Depot on Salt Spring Island, okay? There's no big box stores or fast food restaurants on Salt Spring Island or any of the Gulf Islands. So we have to take a ferry over to the Big Island, which is Vancouver Island. That's to the west of us. And the nearest town / little city over there is about a 15-minute drive from the ferry to 20-minute drive. And it is Duncan. And they have a big Home Depot there. And the coolest palms I've seen there were Rhopatophyllum hystrix. They had them there only 1 year. They usually bring in Butea, Camerops, tons of Trachys. I've seen Washingtonia there, but I really don't waste my time too much with them. I don't buy them because I grow them from seed. We have a lot of Washingtonias I've grown from seed, and some of them are pretty good size in pots. The ones in pots go into the unheated tiki house for winter, and they're fine. They look totally fine. There's actually one right here. That one took a little bit of a beating. See the fronds on it? It's coming back. That was in the unheated tiki hut right there. That's one of my seed-grown Tonias. And filibusta is probably going to be a little hardier, obviously, and filifera is much hardier because California fan palm has a proven track record in colder, drier climates, sort of like New Mexico, and parts of Turkey and Greece where they've had freezes, and the robustas have kicked the bucket, and the filifera have made it through unharmed. So, well, hopefully everybody's having a good day where you are. Hopefully the weather's nice. And like I say, the weather's here is very beautiful on Salt Spring Island. It is, I hear a deer. I hear a deer in the forest. The forest is all around me here. Snowbird flock. Sounds like a tongue twister. Knows exactly where I'm coming from. He's been here. His family has stayed here with us, and so he knows what I'm talking about when we are talking about surrounded by forest. There's a lot of vegetation around us. There's a lot of wildlife. Something very disturbing happened the other day, and I'll tell you about it. It was really upsetting. I heard a bunch of dogs barking in the forest, kind of off in the distance, and then I heard this commotion, and I looked over the sun deck, and I see a deer hightailing it through our meadow. And I don't know, snowbird flock, you remember looking off our sun deck into the meadow, into the deep ravine. There's a deer in distress running through the meadow. And then about 2 minutes behind it were these two vicious dogs, like German shepherds, but a bit smaller. They're on the deer's tail. They want to get this deer. They chased it through the next property, the next forest beside us. Then I could hear them going up the road, barking, and into the forest across the street from us. And that's where we heard the deer cry out these horrible, awful, agonizing, painful screams. And that's where the dog got the deer. It was just absolutely terrible. So I wrote to the paper. I wrote, not the paper, the Salt Spring Exchange. And I put a rant in there and I said, whoever dogs those were, you better know where your dogs are. You better keep them leashed up because there is a leash law here on Salt Spring Island. And what happens if your dogs aren't on a leash and they get into a farmer's field, you can kiss your dogs goodbye because farmers, like they say, have a lead fence. And a lead fence is, that's what a lead fence is, okay? And I often hear gunshot going off at the farm not too far from us. And whenever I hear gunshot going off, you know what that means? That means there's one less dog that is on the island. That's one less dog that has been running around terrorizing sheep and wildlife. So people out there that live in farm areas and rural areas, keep your dogs under control, because once they start killing livestock, or even chasing wild animals, they're going to kill livestock, and the farmers are going to kill your dog. Anyway, I was very upset. I was very upset when I saw that, and especially when I heard that Wendy and I heard, it's just like she wanted to go over across the street. You could hear the dogs barking in the forest. It's like, do not go across the street into the forest, because you would be on their menu too. So anyway, I could hear the ravens over there this morning, and I'm sure the turkey vultures will finish off the carcass of the deer. Have you ever heard, Snowbird? Have you heard about that 49-year-old bristlecone pine that some idiot cut down? Yep, I heard about that. That pine tree was in the Guinness Book of World Records, and it's no different than the one that was up in Haida Gwaii, the rare golden spruce. It was a Sitka spruce, the rare golden Sitka spruce. A guy in protest cut the tree down, but I think they managed to actually tissue culture and clone new specimens. So this 700-year-old tree or whatever it was, the guy cut it down. But yes, I heard about that. That happened several years ago, and I believe those bristlecone pines grow somewhere between Nevada, California, in a desert area, and they're just twisted up, really old tree. One of them's called Methuselah or something like that, and it was in the Guinness Book of World Records. And I remember it when I was reading the Guinness Book of World Records, and that just absolutely insane. Anybody to cut down a tree so old, just awful. GD Gardens, my musabaju is about a foot tall now. I water it every day. Will it grow? Oh yeah. You know what? A foot tall in your heat, and you got a long growing season. Yes, it is possible. Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely possible. I will tell you something. There's a clump of bananas on the west side of our island. The tallest I've seen them is about 25 feet tall, and I've posted pictures of them on my Facebook group, People Who Love Palm Trees and Exotic Plants. And the guy never protects them. Okay, never ever protects them. One bad winter, they froze down to the ground, and because they never really froze down. He's right by the water. The canes would never really freeze down where he is. They'd come down partially, but he does have these big trunks. But one bad winter, and I think it was 2008, December 2008, the trunks froze down pretty much to ground level. Okay, they turned to mush, and by the end of summer, they were already 15 feet tall. So I will say, yes, your banana will be 10 feet tall plus if you water it, give it some ample summer irrigation, or even now, and fertilize it lots. And also a good tip is top dress it with manure and compost, and they're heavy feeders. That's what bananas like. Our bananas right now are probably over 15 feet tall, at least 15 feet tall. They're up there because our canes didn't freeze, because I bubble wrap the canes. And if I didn't bubble wrap them this past winter, I'm going to say they probably would have froze down quite a bit. We got down to 22.1 degrees Fahrenheit, and even that 3-day freeze we had would be enough to knock them back. I don't think they would have froze to the ground, but they would have been in pretty beat up shape. So they definitely wouldn't have been 15 feet tall if I hadn't wrapped them with bubble wrap. So there you go. Anyway, folks, I think I'm going to back on out of here soon. Dinner is going to be ready. I can smell that crock pot, and I love crock pot stew. All right, and I think there's a little bit of curry in it too. So anyway, everybody out there, stay safe, have fun. Oh, who do we have in here now? Snowbird Flock. Me, I've never been to Haida Gwaii. Like, oh, I'd love to go there too. We all loved our visit to you and Wendy Salzman. I love the videos. Oh yeah, we did a video. Yeah, I did a video of Snowbird Flock and his family. You can actually see it here on this channel. And Wendy's son's been up to Haida Gwaii a couple of times, and he says if you want to lay in some thick moss and see some big trees covered in moss, go to Haida Gwaii. So I want to tell you something about Haida Gwaii. It does not get that cold in the winter months. Okay, they get a lot of rain, even though it's way far north of here. You're getting up close to the panhandle of Alaska. My uncle used to live in Sandspit. Okay, he was a logger, and he lived there back through the 1970s. He's passed away, but he lived there for many years. I even think his kids were born there, and then he moved up to Smithers. But I've seen a lot of pictures of Haida Gwaii. I watch YouTube videos of it, and some of my palm trees are up in Haida Gwaii because we had two native carvers stay in the tiny house where you stayed, Snowbird Flock, and they were down visiting Salt Spring Island for a seminar and to make some bronze casting at the bronze smelter behind us. And he's an amazing artist. I'm trying to think of his name. His son's name was Gwaii. I forget the guy's name. They're very famous native carvers from Haida Gwaii. and you could probably Google it and find them. And I gave him a what's his name? Hujo. G-U.
G-U-J-A-W, I think.
Hujo. Come and say hi to Snowbird Flock. You don't want to say? You don't want to say hi to Snowbird Flock? She says she doesn't look good. Oh, you look. She's been outside working all day. She says hi. Wendy says hi. Anyway, Hujo and Guai, and just really nice people. So I gave them a whack load of palm seeds, and I gave them a bunch of palms to take back to Haida Gwaii. I says, plant these up there because I know they will grow. So we know there's some Salt Spring Island palms on Haida Gwaii. Yeah. So anyway, when you're down on Salt Spring Island next time, Snowbird Flock, come and say hi. I don't know when I'll ever get up to Prince George, but you never know. One day, if I ever go to Prince Rupert and take a ferry across to Haida Gwaii, I would go up through Prince George, and then I'd go over to Prince Rupert. So then I could see you then. So it'd be an interesting trip. I've never been up there. Wendy Owls looks good. Hey, Wendy, you Owls look good. She says thank you. She's been building all day. Wendy likes to build. So she's had her tool belt on, and I've been watching her. I've cut a few pieces of wood for her, like small pieces of wood. That's basically all I can do with my sore back, and no heavy lifting. So she's built this really amazing. Well, put it this way: a tree fell on the existing one, so she made it even better. So anyway, when it's done, I will shoot a video for you and show you Wendy's creation, what she turned the rather bleak structure into. And it looks really amazing. And Wendy is a really good artist, and she loves to build. And I'm glad she likes to build because I don't like to build. I could probably build if I have to. I built a few things like dog houses, iguana cages, bird houses, and but I don't think I could build a house. It'd be messy. And I built my garage for my Harley Davidson too, which is okay. It keeps it warm in the wintertime, and it is kind of like a man cave. Well, folks, I'm going to back on out of here, and I'm going to go get some of that stew, and I'm going to say aloha, cheers to everybody out there, and I appreciate everybody for joining in. Not a big crowd today, a very small crowd of people in here, but that's okay. More of an intimate conversation, and it's nice to see you in there, GD Gardens, Snowbird Flock, and we had Jason from Alberta. And usually we have a lot of Europeans in there. We have the southeastern U.S. We have Jane from Hawaii. And we had somebody from Russia last time when I was doing it. And just from all over the planet, which is great. Okay, it's been great in live streaming with you, and we'll do it again. All right, enjoy supper. I will too. Okay, cheers to you, Snowbird Flock. Take it easy, Dave, and say hi to your family. Stay safe out there. Everything's starting to open up now on Salt Spring Island, and but people are really keeping their distance. People are very safe here. Like I say, there's been no confirmed cases of you know what here on our island. I feel very good about that. When I did go into physiotherapy, you have to wear a mask. They will not let you in. There's a big sign on the door, and they read you out a whole questionnaire type thing. You have to answer, and if you fail, you're going to get kicked out of the building. Anyway, I passed, so they let me in for more physio. All right, folks, take it easy, and thanks again for watching my YouTube videos and subscribing, and stay tuned for more daily uploads. It does mostly pertain to plants, but you know I do like to throw in random videos of other things too to break up the monotony. All right, cheers and aloha from Salt Spring Island. Stay safe out there. Bye now.